Hello guys, so welcome back to another Walk in the Park AR video. In this video I'm going to talk about 3 principles that helped me in my AR journey, in my Apple AR journey. And I thought it would be nice to talk about principles and not frameworks or tools or coding languages that you should learn, because principles are timeless. Oh, look at that. This is like a beautiful self-contained spot with a chair there that I have preserved. Alright, trying to get the lighting right. There are a few squirrels behind me, so it'll be a bit distracting. But anyways, so we're talking about principles, right? So timeless principles that helped me in my journey, and that will be helpful to yours too. So the first principle that I wanted to share was to do with the T-shaped philosophy. About 3 years back, that's when I started exploring side projects and programming out of curiosity rather than obligation. So in my undergrad, I was doing electronics engineering, and as part of that, we had to do programming modules and stuff, but I was not really interested in it. At that point, I didn't really know what to do with my life. But about 3 years back, I was doing my PhD. That's when I started tinkering around with my own side projects. And one of the very first things I did was VR. So I got really interested in VR technologies, and I learned Unity by myself and started building things on the side. So during this time, I remember me programming was basically finding snippets of code from here and there and just mashing them up together. It's sort of like a spaghetti code, and just mixing them up and hoping they would work. If it doesn't work, just changing variables, tuning in and out until it works. You know, very manual, experimental way without really knowing the foundations or the fundamentals. So during this time, I really learned that, yeah, you could build stuff this way, right? You could build side projects this way, but you're limited by your creativity. So then what I started doing is, when I learned Apple AR, I took a different approach. I knew that I was bad with the fundamentals of programming. So during this time, I came across this philosophy by this YouTube channel called Simple Programmer by John Sonmez, and he introduced me to the concept of a T-shaped structure. So you know, letter T, it goes deep down and then wide on the top. So the idea is like a T, letter T, you go deep with one technology when you first start learning programming. So for me in this case, Apple AR, I went deep with iOS. I did not learn multiple languages at the same time. I went deep learning Swift, iOS, fundamentals, everything, about a year just focusing on that only and nothing else. And then eventually going broad with other bits. For example, say you could go to Unity or stuff like that. So that really struck with me, that idea, and I followed that, and I really can tell it is the best way to go. It feels really weird talking about programming in nature. Maybe this is going to be a new channel style or genre. Now the second principle that helped me was the idea of focusing on timeless fundamentals. So before I was talking about fundamentals in the sense of a specific technology like iOS or Android or Unity, whatever. When I talk about timeless fundamentals, I'm more talking about things that will make you a better programmer in a more higher level. I'm talking about writing clean code. I read a book called Clean Code by Uncle Bob. It was a life-changing book, honestly, because it really teaches you how to write elegant code. It teaches you how to create really small, neat functions, verbose, and the idea is you want to have as little comments as possible when you write code, comments on top of your code, because your code itself should be expressive. The beautiful thing is when you do iOS programming, it's very natural because the syntax itself is very verbose in iOS, especially in Swift. The idea of writing clean code is one example of timeless fundamentals. Again, Clean Code by Uncle Bob, great book to read on this. So the reason I mentioned timeless fundamentals is in my own Apple AR journey, the way I structure my time learning is I make sure I spend at least 1 hour a day focusing on the timeless fundamentals. Fundamentals that go beyond AR, beyond Apple, beyond Android, whatever. It can be used 10, 20 years from now, it will still be useful. I think of it as investments I make in my own knowledge base. I might not see results immediately, but 5, 6 years down, the compounding of these timeless knowledge would help, I believe. Now the third and final piece of principle that has helped me, and I can say it really has helped me a lot, is something that most programmer or technical oriented people would cringe at, and it is marketing. Marketing. If you're a technical person watching this, most likely you cringed when I said that, and most likely you might stop viewing the video after this point. To learn about marketing, we're gonna ask about this Mr. Squirrel that I saw spotted in this park. I don't know if he's gonna attack me or not, but let's see if he's good at marketing. So recently my friend from Canada messaged me. She said that she's been talking to a lot of her friends lately, and a lot of the topics apparently that happened was going around metaverse, and she was basically describing how every time someone talks about metaverse, the first image that pops up in her head is mine. She doesn't care about AR VR, so it might not be a relevant example there, but if it was someone in the AR VR industry, say is following my channel regularly or similar, if every time they see something AR, Apple AR related, and the first image that pops up in their head is mine, imagine how useful that would be. If they came across an opportunity and they might say a client project, then they might need Apple AR specialty, and immediately they would think of me because I constantly post about Apple AR on and on, and that's the message I communicate to the world through my content. And that association that I form makes me the natural candidate that they think of if they think I'm good enough for the job. You want people to think about you when there's a certain task or an opportunity at hand, and it does not happen naturally. That's why Apple, they create tons of marketing videos on the iPhone from different angles, not just one video, because they want those emotions and experiences to be associated with their product. You may ask at this point, yeah, but Elon Musk said that you don't need marketing. Tesla does not have a marketing budget. They spend zero money on ads and they still do so well. Yes, that's true, but Elon Musk is Elon Musk. He has 22 million followers on his Twitter account. Tesla does not have a marketing budget, but Elon Musk himself is the personal brand that drives the marketing to Tesla. You see his Twitter posts, constantly posting about Tesla and the things that they're doing, and it's 22 million followers. Think about that. I don't think that's really true when he says Tesla does not have a marketing budget. Maybe not tangibly so, but a very intangible way, there is a big marketing push behind. If Elon Musk was like this unknown kid working on his projects in the basement, I don't think anyone would know and anyone would care. So if you're an unknown kid, unknown teen, unknown adult, like myself, who is just making his way up, building his way up, have big dreams, working towards it, I believe it's very, very important to not just focus on the technical, but also focusing on the selling side of things. Sell yourself. And I know it's such a cringe word, especially in the developer community, and I don't believe it has to be. It is simply communicating what you're passionate about naturally. For example, when I talk about AR, VR, I care about it. I have a big 10-year vision towards this industry, and I've got many different ideas there. So when I talk about AR, VR, I don't need to write a script like now. I'm just talking impromptu onto the device based on my experiences and my journey. I'm just talking naturally. And if I'm enthusiastic and passionate about it, it becomes naturally a convincing message because it just rubs off on you. Can you remember the last time you were talking to a friend of yours who was really passionate about something, or when you were talking about something passionate and people really listened and they really believed you and they really were influenced in some aspect? That is an example of marketing. So marketing in my world is simply communicating whatever you care about in an effective way. That's it. No scripts, no sleazy salesman, no pretending to be what you're not, none of that. With that in mind, you may ask, like, what is the best way to market yourself as a programmer or build your influence or your brand when you're starting on? From my limited experience, I'm not a person with a 10 million influencer follower list or anything yet. I find the best way to do it is documenting your journey. When you're setting out on this Apple AR journey, your AR journey, your metaverse journey, whatever you're following, the roadmap you're following, you'll be learning a ton of things every single day. You'll be learning programming related stuff. You'll be learning stuff about the industry. You'll be learning stuff about new frameworks that come out. You'll be learning stuff about how to do interviews, create clients projects. There'll be different stuff from multiple dimensions that you'll be learning. And if you can just, whenever you learn something, like now, what I'm doing, all you got to do is take up your phone from your pocket, click the record button, make a video. Or if you like Twitter, just post a tweet on it. So that's simply the way I look at marketing, simply documenting what you're going through, but it has to be valuable in some sense, not just going through a bathroom or anything. It has to be something that's valuable. And when you're actively learning about a topic or an industry or a new venture, you'll be learning a ton. And just post it. Good luck.